So hello everyone. So in this talk, I will present the Dionysos software, which is produced by the ARC project Learning to Control. So the objective of this platform is to control complex dynamical systems, such as a drone, which evolve in a complex environment and subject to external disturbances. So we want to derive a generic procedure to design efficient controller to achieve complex specification. So to achieve this objective, we will rely on several powerful tools, such as the formal method, the learning-based methods, and the optimization-based methods. But today, I will focus only on formal methods and more precisely on the abstraction-based method. So for this presentation, we will consider the following framework. So we consider a nonlinear dynamical system depending of the state X and the control input U. And there is also external noise which can be bounded. Then we will focus on the following specifications. So first, the invariance or safety problem. So given a subset of the state space, we want to control the system in such a way that it will remain in that set for a given period. And the second specification that we will consider is the reachability problem. So for which, given an initial set and a target set, we want to drive the system from any state starting in the initial set to a state in the target set while avoiding the obstacles. So as I said before, to design such a controller, we will rely on abstraction-based techniques. So the idea behind these techniques is to discretize the different variables to transform the model into a simple combinatorial problem on a finite state automaton. So there are basically 3 steps. So given our original system, which is typically a continuous system, we will first build an abstraction of it, which will be a kind of automaton, but in a way that there is a particular relation between the two representations. I will explain just after what is the meaning of this relation. We will also build new specification for the abstraction, and then we will solve the control problem for the abstraction and this new specification. So this is easier because it is a simple combinatorial problem. And finally, because of the special relation between the two systems, we can derive from the symbolic controller a controller that will work for the original system under our original specifications. So we will now consider discrete time control system. So it is simply described by a triple. So the set of states, the set of input, and a transition relation. So it means that being in state X and applying the input U, the system will potentially reach the state X prime. So I said potentially because as the system is non-deterministic, we could reach more than one state. And so we'll denote by these notations the set of destinations that we could reach being in state X and applying the input U. And we call this set the post-image of state X under the input U. And so, as I said before, there is a particular relation between the original system and the abstraction, so which is called an alternating simulation relation. So we will not enter too much into the detail, but simply the idea is the following. So given a system S1 and a system S2, we say that a state of S1 is in relation with the state of the system S2 if for every input U1 of S1, there exists an input U2 of S2, such that every state in the post-image of X2 under U2 is in relation with at least one of the states of the post-image of the state X1 under the input U1. And so basically it means that for any trajectory of the system S2, there exists a related trajectory for the system S1. So if such a relation exists, we say that S2 is an alternating simulation of the system S1. So now we can go into the details to see how we built in practice the abstraction. So we have our original continuous state space, and then we will discretize it into small cells. And we will associate to each cell a symbol which will be the discrete state of the abstraction. And then for a given input, we will compute the reachable set of the cell, but in practice, it is really difficult to compute precisely, and so we will compute another approximation of the reachable set, typically an hyperrectangle. And then we will add an hyper edge in the abstraction for all the cells which have a non-empty intersection with this other approximation of the reachable set. And the hypergraph resulting from this procedure for every cell and every input is the abstraction. So we use what it is called the quantization relation. So given a state in a continuous state space, it will be related to the symbol associated to the cell in which it is located. And we can prove that this quantization relation is in fact an alternating simulation. So the original system is an alternating simulation of this particular abstraction. And because in the point of view of the abstraction, we don't know precisely where we are, we just know that we are somewhere in the cell. And so by applying the input u, we can potentially reach any of these discrete states. That's why we have an hypergraph. And so we have some additional non-determinism resulting from the discretization of the domain. And as you can imagine, the size of the cell is really important. So for example, considering this coarse level of discretization, we have in black the obstacles. And in the point of view of the abstraction, we will consider as obstacle all the cells that have a non-empty intersection with the obstacle. And so with this level, we see that it's impossible to go from the left to the right. But if you use a finer level, we see that it seems possible to go from left to right. But because our over approximation here of the reachable set of the cell is not precise enough, we could have an hyper edge which has some destination as obstacle. And so it is too risky to take this hyper edge into point of view of the abstraction. And so we cannot be sure to control the system from the left to the right while avoiding the obstacle. So again, it's a failure. And by reducing again the discretization step, we can finally guarantee to go from the left to right. But the problem is that the number of cells grow exponentially with the dimension of the state space. And so we suffer of the curse of dimensionality. So there is really a trade-off between the size of the cell and the accuracy of the over-approximation of the reachable set and the execution time. So for example, we could use high accuracy methods such as set propagation techniques that we can find, for example, in the reachability analysis.gl package, where the idea is to iteratively propagate a sequence of sets starting from the set of initial states according to the system dynamics. But in our case, it is too slow. That's why we choose less precise but faster method based on property of the system, such as the incremental stability. So basically, we can use the fact that trajectory starting with quite close initial position will at the end remain close. But more generally, we will try to compute what we call a Gros-Bond function. So we have our cell and the center of the cell is C. And what we will do is we will compute the trajectory of the center C of the cell, in the case where there is no noise. And the Gros-Bond function, which is the beta function here, is a function which will give us an upper bound on the distance between the image of any state starting in the same cell and the image of the center of the cell. And as you can see, this function is parameterized by a set K, which is in fact the region of validity of this function. And so the advantage of using this over-approximation technique is that it can be locally dependent thanks to the set K, and it allows also to depend of the input U. And so it remains the problem of computing such a Gros-Bond function. So to do that, we have a useful theorem. Simply, it states that by bounding the Jacobian of the vector field of the dynamics in a region which contains the trajectory, which can derive such a Gros-Bond function. So in the particular case where we can find precise bonds on the Jacobian which are independent of the state, it is very efficient. So indeed, we just have to evaluate this bound for every input only once at the beginning. And then the Gros-Bond function will be the same everywhere in the state space. And so this is, for example, the case for this dynamical system. But in the case where it is not easy to find a common precise upper bound on the Jacobian, we will have to compute a local bound depending of the position in the state space. And to do that, we will use interval arithmetic. So we want to compute a valid group bound function for the subset K of the state space. And to do this, we need we need bounds on the Jacobian that are valid for all the trajectories starting in the set K. And so we will try to identify the smallest set K prime that contains all the trajectories starting in K. And then we will compute a bound on the Jacobian in that set. So we start with the set K prime equal to the full state space. And then using the interval arithmetic.gl package, we will evaluate the highest value of the vector field on that set. And then we'll compute a better approximation of the set K prime. And we can iterate several times. And at the end, we end up with a fairly accurate region K prime, which contains the trajectory starting in K, and then which we will evaluate an upper bound on the Jacobian. And then we can compute the group bound function, which is valid, so for every cell which is contained in the set K. Note that we have the abstraction. It remains to derive the new specification for the abstractions. So simply, we consider as obstacle all the cells which have a non-empty intersection with the obstacle of the original problem. And for the initial set, we consider all the cells which contain the initial set. And for the target cell, we consider all the cells which are strictly contained in the original target set. It just remains to compute the symbolic controller, which is easy because we just have to solve a fixed point equation. So for example, for the reachability problem, we start with the target set, which is in blue here. And then we will add a cell in the current target set if for one input, all the destinations are fully contained in the target set. So for example, for the cell C1, we have the control input U2 that guarantee to reach the target set. So we can add C1 in the current target set. But for example, for the cell C2, it is not yet the case because there is no input for which it is fully mapped inside the current target set. And so we expand the target set, so the region which we have a control, for which we have a control sequence to the original target set progressively until covering the initial set. But as said before, computing the whole abstraction is suffering of the curse of dimensionality. And so our idea is to compute lazily a small part of the abstraction by co-designing the abstraction and the controller at the same time. So we have still our original system, then the abstraction which is an hypergraph as presented before. But now we will build another abstraction which is simpler. So instead of adding an hyper edge, we simply add several simple edges. So this abstraction is an hypergraph, while this one is a simple graph. So this one can be seen as an adversarial problem. So we choose the input, but cannot choose the destination. While this one can be seen as a collaborative problem. We can choose the input and the destination. We will also define a cost function of x and u, c, which gives the cost of applying the input u in state x. So our goal is now to still achieve the specification while now minimizing this cost function. And with our previous abstraction, we can compute an upper bound on the cost of achieving the specification starting from a particular cell, while this new abstraction, which can be proved to be in fact an alternating simulation of the original system, will provide us a lower bound on the cost. And in fact, we will use it in order to get a heuristic to guide the construction of the second abstraction. So the idea is to use an I-star algorithm working on hypergraph. So we will build the abstraction lazily, starting from the target set and guide to the initial set thanks to the heuristic obtained via the simple abstraction. So we will use a priority queue n, which is initialized with the cell of the target set, with a cost given by the heuristic, and for the other cell, for which, so for the other cell, the cost will be set to infinity. And we have also a set C containing the cell for which we have a control sequence, and a set O for which it contains the cell for which we have the optimal control sequence. And we pop the first element of the priority queue. So imagine that this is this cell in blue. And then for every input, we compute the preimage of this cell. So it means that So the pre-image of this cell, so it is all the cell for which the post-image of this cell has a non-empty intersection with our current cell Q. And so for all of this cell, here, we compute the post-image if it's not already done. And if the post-image is fully contained in the control set, then we can add this cell into the priority queue and update its cost. And we iterate in that way until all the initial cells are inside the optimal control set. And so at the end, if the heuristic is consistent, we end with the best worst case hyperpath. So here you have an example of the execution of the algorithm for a simple two-dimensional dynamical system. So first we compute the simple abstraction on the whole state space, and from it, using the Dijkstra algorithm, we can deduce a heuristic cost from which gives the cost from any cell to the initial set. And then we apply the A-star algorithm to compute lazily the abstraction from the target set to the initial set using the heuristic. And in dark blue, you can see the cell for which we have the optimal control sequence. In light blue, those for which we have a control sequence. And in yellow, the cell for which we compute at least one transition. And so, as you can see, we compute only the abstraction on a small part of the state space. We can use also this algorithm in a greedy way, so giving more importance to the heuristic. And in that case, it's no longer a consistent heuristic, and so we lose the optimality properties of A-star. But we can potentially reduce drastically the number of transitions computed. So we can see the result here on a three-dimensional system. So we can go even further in this idea of reducing the part of the computed abstraction by using a three-level partition of the state space. So the cursor level will be a simple graph abstraction. Then in each big cell, we will potentially build a medium-level abstraction, which again will be a simple graph abstraction. And the final level will be the hypergraph abstraction. And so the idea is to use a branch and bound at the cursor level in order to reduce the number of big cells in which we will build the finer levels. So when we fixed a path at the cursor level, we can compute several controllers, one from the first cell to the second cell of the path, then another to the second cell to the third, etc. And it has the following advantages. So as we have local target into the state space, A-star will explore less nodes. Also, each controller can be computed in parallel using different threads. If two paths at the cursor level have a common path, so it is the case here, then we can reuse the path controller, so for example the two first. And we have also more flexibility as we can change the size of the discretization between two big cells, reducing the size in complex region and increasing the size in simple region of the state space. And so as you can see here, the execution of the algorithm on the simple two-dimensional system. So as you can see, we compute the abstraction on a smaller part of the state space. And then finally, you have here in the table the total number of transitions computed by the three approaches. So the one computing the full abstraction, then the one using the A-star algorithm, for which we have some additional transition for the heuristic, and then the one of the hierarchical abstraction, for which we have the additional cursor level. And as expected, the number of transitions has decreased. So thank you for your attention and feel free to ask questions.